Let's talk about Romania, a country with breathtaking landscapes from the rolling hills of Transylvania to the dramatic peaks of the Carpathian Mountains. Romania is a place where history and nature blend seamlessly, offering a unique charm that draws visitors from around the world. But beneath this beauty lies a problem that's hard to ignore, a railway system that feels stuck in a different era. While other European countries have modernized their railways, Romania's trains and stations seem frozen in time, relics of a bygone age. For decades, Romania's rail network has been crumbling. Ancient trains rattle along worn, uneven tracks, and the infrastructure is so outdated that journeys which should take hours can stretch into an all-day ordeal. Delays and breakdowns are common, and the experience for passengers is often uncomfortable and unreliable. This isn't just a travel headache, it's a serious drag on the economy. Slow, unreliable trains make it difficult to move goods efficiently, hurting businesses and making it harder for cities and regions to stay connected. For many Romanians, the railway is a lifeline, but it's one that's fraying fast. Recognizing the urgent need for change, the government set out to overhaul the entire system. The vision was clear: invest in modern, reliable trains and infrastructure to bring Romania's railway into the 21st century. This would mean faster journeys, more comfort, and a boost for the whole country. The plan was ambitious: replace the aging fleet, attract more passengers, and show the world that Romania was ready to embrace the future. New trains would mean not just better travel, but also new opportunities for business, tourism, and everyday life. To make this vision a reality, the government announced a massive contract worth hundreds of millions of euros. The search was on for a partner who could deliver the transformation Romania desperately needed, and hopes were high that this would be a turning point. Across the country, people watched with anticipation. For many, this was more than just a project. It was a symbol of hope, a chance for Romania to finally catch up with its European neighbors and offer its citizens the modern rail service they deserved. But as the journey toward modernization began, no one could have predicted the obstacles ahead. Political infighting, economic uncertainty, and even international disputes soon threatened to derail the entire effort, turning what should have been a straightforward upgrade into a national drama. The train to the future was about to be delayed for reasons no one saw coming, leaving Romania's hopes for a modern railway hanging in the balance. Romania's railways, once the pride of Eastern Europe, had fallen into disrepair. Trains crawled along outdated tracks, and commuters faced daily delays and frustration. With a clear need and a big budget, Romania went shopping for trains, hoping to modernize its aging fleet and restore faith in public transport. As European manufacturers hesitated or demanded higher prices, China answered the call with confidence and speed. A Chinese state-owned company stepped forward, offering a $300 million deal for a fleet of brand-new trains. The proposal promised cutting-edge technology, a competitive price tag, and, perhaps most importantly, delivery timelines that outpaced the competition. For a country eager to catch up with its neighbors, this was an enticing offer. For a government under pressure to deliver results, the Chinese proposal was hard to resist. Politicians saw a chance to score a quick win and show voters that progress was possible. The public, tired of waiting on cold platforms and squeezed into overcrowded carriages, was desperate for change. The deal seemed like a direct answer to their daily struggles, a promise of a faster, more reliable future. After months of negotiations, the contract was awarded to the Chinese consortium. It was hailed as a win-win. Romania would get its trains, and China would gain a valuable foothold in the European market. The deal promised to transform Romania's railways and strengthen economic ties between the two countries. For China, it was another step in expanding its influence across Europe, using infrastructure as a bridge. But just as the ink was drying, political winds shifted in Bucharest. Questions arose about transparency, national security, and the true cost of the partnership. What had seemed like a straightforward solution suddenly became a source of heated debate and public tension. Headlines blared and talk shows buzzed with speculation. The train deal was no longer just about trains, it was about alliances, sovereignty, and Romania's future direction. The country found itself at a crossroads, Cautionary. The dragon had arrived at a complicated time, bringing both opportunity and uncertainty to Romania's doorstep. And as the sun set over Romania's railways, the story was about to take a sharp and unexpected turn. So, why did Romania suddenly back out? The answer: politics and pressure. Romania was pivoting west, eager to prove itself as a loyal EU and NATO member. A massive Chinese infrastructure deal started to look like a liability, not a bargain. New laws were introduced, requiring non-EU bidders to have a physical presence in Romania, a move that effectively blocked the Chinese offer. With the stroke of a pen, the $300 million deal was cancelled. The government cited the need to align with European standards and partnerships. It was a bold geopolitical statement, but it left Romania's railway modernization in limbo. The big question: what now? With the Chinese deal dead, Romania turned to Europe for a solution. The contract went to Alstom, a French giant in train manufacturing. This was a politically safe choice, reinforcing Romania's commitment to the EU. The deal promised state-of-the-art Coradia stream trains and a new era for Romanian railways. The government celebrated, promising a modern, comfortable, and reliable service. But as anyone familiar with big projects knows, signing a contract is just the beginning. The switch to a European partner didn't magically solve everything. The real test was about to begin, delivering results, not just promises. The European Express was about to hit turbulence. The dream of a smooth ride was, once again, on shaky tracks. You'd think the hard part was over, not quite. As soon as the Alstom contract was signed, new problems emerged. CFR Călători, the state rail operator, ran into bureaucratic and financial roadblocks. The first hurdle: insurance. Without it, the new trains couldn't run. CFR Călători rejected offers from major insurers, leaving the trains stuck in limbo. On top of that, the company faced severe financial pressure, needing emergency loans just to stay afloat. The dream of modern rail was threatened by the red tape and mismanagement. The new train sat idle, caught in a web of disputes and financial woes. For Romanians, it was déjà vu. Another promise stalled. The political victory felt hollow with no new trains on the tracks. The bumpy ride continued. While leaders argued, ordinary Romanians paid the price. Commuters and families were still stuck on old, unreliable trains. Delays and breakdowns remained the norm, fueling frustration and a sense of being left behind. The economic impact was huge. Businesses faced higher costs and unreliable deliveries. Key industries struggled, and the country missed out on faster trade and better connectivity. Tourism suffered too. Unreliable trains discouraged visitors, pushing them to cars and buses. The failure to upgrade was a missed opportunity for sustainable tourism and growth. Public trust eroded as one deal after another fell apart. The cost wasn't just money or time, it was lost faith and missed chances. Romanians wondered if things would ever change. The cancelled Chinese deal was part of a bigger shift, Romania's strategic pivot west. The country worked to cement its place as a loyal EU and US ally, prioritizing security and shared values. This pro-Western stance shaped decisions across sectors, from energy to infrastructure. Romania partnered with the US on nuclear projects, favoring Western technology for critical needs. Policy changes made it harder for Chinese and Russian companies to compete for strategic contracts. The government believed long-term security outweighed short-term economic gains from the East. The train deal was just one casualty of this larger geopolitical strategy. Romania's future, leaders argued, was with the West. But the costs of this pivot were becoming clear. The gamble: would Western alignment deliver real results? Even as Romania blocked Chinese state projects, Chinese money kept flowing in. Through the private sector, the Luxshare takeover of Leoni AG, a major employer in Romania's auto industry, happened with little resistance. This showed Romania's relationship with China was more complex than official rhetoric suggested. Strategic sectors like rail and energy were reserved for Western partners, but other industries welcomed Chinese investment. It was a balancing act, reaping economic benefits while managing geopolitical risks. Despite political moves, China's economic footprint in Romania kept growing, just in new ways. The story wasn't simple rejection, but a dance of avoidance and necessity. The dragon found a side door, even as the front gate closed. Romania's economic fate remained tied to both East and West. Halloween, 2025. The new Alstom trains are still mostly a fantasy, and the old ones keep rattling on, echoing through the chilly autumn nights. For many Romanians, the promise of sleek modern trains has faded into a distant hope, replaced by the familiar clatter of aging carriages and the frustration of endless delays. The platforms remain cold and empty, haunted by the sense that something better was just out of reach. A quiet question grows: did Romania make a mistake? Commuters exchange worried glances, wondering if the country's leaders chose the right path. The uncertainty is palpable, as people wait for trains that never seem to arrive on time, if at all. The pro-Western pivot hasn't delivered the better trains people wanted. Instead, it's left many feeling stranded between two worlds, one of hopeful promises and one of harsh realities. The shiny brochures and digital renderings of new trains now seem like little more than wishful thinking. There's regret for what could have been. The Chinese deal promised speed and affordability. Images of bullet trains racing across China only deepen the sense of loss, as Romanians imagine what their own railways might have looked like if things had gone differently. Now, Romania has neither new trains nor a strong relationship with China. The tracks remain empty, and the diplomatic bridge that once connected Bucharest to Beijing has all but collapsed. Progress has stalled, and the country is left in limbo. The public wonders why other sectors benefit from Chinese investment, but railways are left behind. Roads, bridges, and even factories have seen upgrades, yet the trains, so vital to daily life, remain stuck in the past. People ask, why not us? Why not now? The debate is no longer just East versus West. It's about results versus promises. Politicians argue, headlines swirl, and the public grows weary of rhetoric. What matters now is not ideology, but whether real change will ever arrive. Romania's $300 million train saga is a cautionary tale of politics clashing with practical needs. The story is written in rusted rails and abandoned construction sites, a reminder that big decisions have real consequences for ordinary people. In trying to board the train to the west, Romania may have derailed its own future. The dream of seamless European connections now feels more distant than ever, as the country struggles to find its place on the tracks of progress. And as the wait continues, the ghost of the cancelled deal lingers on, a silent reminder of what was lost, and of the long journey still ahead for Romania's railways.